Welcome back to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus. Wiley, feeling amazing other than my knee and my hip. And boy, I'm feeling better than Bob Huggins is right now because he is apologetic, as he should be, as they always are, whether it's sincere or not. He used the anti-gay slur on air on radio. We know who he is, do we? Do we not? West Virginia University basketball coach who interviewed on Cincinnati radio station Monday during their appearance on the show. Huggins was asked about his former in-city rivalry with Xavier during his time as the Cincinnati coach from 89 to 2005. A lot of y'all weren't even born, damn it. Any school that can throw rubber penises on the floor and then say they didn't do it, my God, they can get away with anything, Huggins said in the interview. Okay, so far, you're going towards the line, but you ain't crossed no line yet. Penises is not necessarily what you want to hear from a college coach. But at the same time, he's like, hey, I ain't there anymore. But Cunningham then responded and said, I think it was transgender night, wasn't it? Man, I don't know. Sometimes I get caught off of this. So y'all help me in the comments. I don't remember it being national conversation or pervasive to talk about transgenders in 1989 all the way to 2005. To me, it feels like it's something of recent history. But every time I say that, people always correct me and say, nah, back then. But I don't know about that one, Bob. I don't know if you're going the right direction now. I see the line. Your toes are right on it. What it was all those F's. And I'm not going to say the word out of respect, even though I grew up saying the word. Matter of fact, I grew up being called the word more than anything because I hated to fight, I didn't act tough, and I was a nerd. So F word was my nickname. He said what it was all those F's, those Catholic F's, I think. Ooh, then added, he ain't done. Now he don't know where to line at, but it's way behind him. They were envious they didn't have one, which appeared to be a reference to his earlier comments about objects that had been thrown onto the court. Basically, they didn't have penises, he's saying. Woo! Okay, you ready for this? Apology statement at 5:21 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, it came fast, came in hot. Quote, earlier today on a Cincinnati radio program, I was asked about the rivalry between my former employer, the University of Cincinnati, and its crosstown rival, Xavier University. You know you in trouble when you gotta say all of these statements with that much matter of fact before you even get to your apology. You gotta name the entities. You gotta go out there and lay it out, foundation first. Boy, you're in trouble. During the conversation, I used a completely insensitive and aberrant phrase that there is simply no excuse for, and I won't try to make one here. I deeply apologize to the individuals I have offended, as well as to the Xavier University community, the University of Cincinnati, and West Virginia University. Why not thank the whole East Coast and South? Woo! These apologies crack me up, even when I had to say them. As I have shared with my players over my 40 years of coaching, oh, really? Now we're going to go there. There are consequences for our words and actions, and I will fully accept anything coming my way. I am ashamed and embarrassed and heartbroken for those I have hurt. I must do better, and I will. Okay. Should I do it right now? Yeah, I should do it right now. You know what PC culture has turned us into? Like plausible deniers. Because you can never question someone's motive. So everyone can always put their hands up and say, I said it. You believe me? So when you say it and then all of a sudden you stepped in it, you can say, well, I'm apologizing and I am heartbroken and oh my God, I'm ashamed and embarrassed. And since you can't question his motives or you don't know his motives, he could just sit there and say, I deny ever feeling that way. It was just a misspoke. I just misspoke. I just had a bad time talking about something that I really didn't evolve into the conversation and evolve into having a more sensible discussion, right? You've heard that before, haven't you? Like the words we used to use, oh, I'm still using them. Oh, my bad. I should have let that word go. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Adrian Peterson. I always think about that because Adrian Peterson was using old school discipline, Old Testament discipline in the New Testament in the new school with his son, right? Now, he went too far either way, but he still was using some. My mama used to whip me like Adrian Peterson mama used to, like Adrian Peterson with his son, and nothing happened to my mama. But something happened to Adrian Peterson, and something's gonna happen to Bob Huggins, right? It's like this plausible deniability, like, I didn't do anything, or I did something, or it kills me. It's crazy, right? Because he let it flow off his tongue. It's a radio interview. There is no pressure in a radio interview. They don't even get to see you. You can be picking your nose and talking, saying whatever you want to say. And this is what he said. Now, what did he say? The F word. Now, we know you can't say the F word right now. You're not supposed to say the R word right now. I know on the airplane, you're not even supposed to call them the S word. Stewardess. I say that one still. I'm in violation. Oh, my God. I'm so heartbroken for all the stewardesses and stewards out there. Like, what? How do y'all feel about that? Like, words we used to use and you shouldn't use anymore. Obviously, the N-word comes to mind. We've been talking about that on this show a lot, right? People used to use it, but it never had a sense of positivity to it, but now it does. F-word never had a sense of positivity to it. I ain't feel good when they used to call me that, right? But it was, I will say, on the spectrum, it was almost like how the B-word is now, where girls use it to girls. Back in the days, everybody was using the F-word for like negative, diss you, but they also was using it like kind of light, like you just soft. Like didn't Kobe get caught with this before? Like it was just like, man, you just soft. So it wasn't on the extreme. That's the only thing that could save Bob Huggins. But let's also talk through this, right? You know, West Virginia, the athletic department denounced his remarks 20 minutes later on Twitter, said his remarks were insensitive, offensive, and do not represent our university values. Yep. Man, does not condone the use of such language and takes such actions very seriously. Here we go. Y'all ready? Dun, 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 dun. Every entity says this. And I know if you're the one in trouble, you're glad they say this. But y'all, come on, man. Be more sincere, or at least come off as more genuine. The situation is under review and will be addressed by the university and its athletic department. Another one. See how mad y'all are. See how many shows talk about it. See how many people are offended. Oh, not enough? Whew, let it go. It's simple as that. It's crazy. So is he going to get fired? Is this what crosses the line for Mr. Bob Huggins? And if he doesn't get fired, what should happen? And will that be enough, right? It's crazy. I was surprised by his comments just because he's an older guy, obviously, and he's coaching, so you're around young guys. And being around those youngsters, sometimes you pick up not only on their words, but their lexicon and their sensibilities. Like every time I'm around my daughter, she's like, Dad, you can't do that. Dad, you can't say that. Dad, and I'm like, oh, all right. But I did say it. I did do it. So now him on a radio interview is when he left the F's off and the penises and transgender. I don't know. I don't ask for anybody to be fired, but if he's not, it just seemed like he was a little comfortable, too comfortable, crossing that line and not stopping himself in that moment.